Well, hello and welcome to Low Def Media. Today we've got a test, and it's not a very scientific test, but today what we've got is the DJI Osmo Pocket 1 against the GoPro Hero 7 Black. Now again, this isn't very scientific. It's not going to be all long and drawn out. Basically what I did is I took two cameras with me when I went on a hike, and I wanted to check the stabilization between the DJI Osmo Pocket 1 with the gimbal. Let's see, I had it here. Oh, there it is. So this is what we're talking about. This is the DJI Osmo Pocket, and you'll see that it has the gimbal here. So rather than relying on digital stabilization, it relies on a gimbal type stabilization, okay? So I was very interested to see how that compared to the GoPro Hero 7 Black here, which relies on internal electronic or digital stabilization. So what I did is I basically went hiking, as I was descending back down the mountain, I interchanged the cameras just to see. Now, one thing I will admit to here at the beginning, the intent was to get the Osmo Pocket on the way up and have that record my ascent, and then the GoPro record the descent. But here's a problem. With the DJI Osmo Pocket, you have very limited controls on the unit itself. It's designed to be paired with your phone, and then you get all of the features and all of the controls for the camera. Well, I didn't think to look. I just assumed that when I turned it on, it would be in my normal settings, 4K, 24 frames a second, but it was not. It was set to manual. And as I climbed the mountain, I got to the top to take a really cool picture, only to find that I had recorded white because I was in manual mode and I had all the settings for inside. So the ISO was blasted, the white balance was out of control, and so all I got was white. So I had to delete that file, then I had to connect it to my phone, get all the settings the way I needed them to be, auto everything just like on the GoPro, and then get a much smaller or shortened clip going down. Now, I'm gonna let you see the footage of the GoPro, well, the GoPro will be second, but of the DJI Osmo Pocket 1, then the GoPro Hero 7 Black will be second, and then at the end, I'll give you my impressions, and maybe I'll hear some of your feedback. Let's get to those clips. Okay, first up, we have the DJI Osmo Pocket 1. Now, the first thing you'll notice is the way the camera is facing. I've got it clipped to what's called a chesty strap for a GoPro, so it's an action cam specific chest strap. And I've got it centered on my chest, but because it's a gimbal, it's shooting directly forward. All right, and this is where having a gimbal style camera becomes a little bit cumbersome because you have to direct it exactly where you want it to be and then lock the tilt. So because it's on my chest, I couldn't see what it was focusing on, and so that became pretty challenging, and there's no way to know what it's looking at. Now here you're seeing that it's a little bit better, it's getting a better field of view, but it's still not exactly where I want it to be. Now the other thing you're going to notice, and this is what really surprised me when I played the video back, is how bouncy the footage is. You would think with a gimbal whose primary function is to prevent just this kind of thing from happening, that you wouldn't get any of this kind of bounce. Now the image itself is very crisp. It's a 4K image, looks great, but that bouncing is really, it makes this footage, in my opinion, very unusable. So I'm just gonna sit back here for a minute. I'm gonna let you look at the footage, and then we're gonna jump into the GoPro Hero 7 Black.
Let's go GoPro Hero 7 Black. Let's see what we got. Running gently, slippery. I'm gonna put this GoPro to the test today.
Okay, so looking at this footage and comparing this to the Osmo Pocket, the first thing that you'll notice is that the field of view is much better. Really enjoying how this looks. And so I like the field of view. It's not as bouncy. You're seeing the actual trail that I'm running on, where with the Osmo Pocket, being able to figure out what you're seeing is a little more challenging. But with the GoPro, all you have to do is kind of flip it down just a little bit and you can see your field of view. You almost know just by looking at it what you're going to get, just by looking at where it's pointing. And so because it's such a wide field of view, you know you're not going to miss anything. So already off the bat, really enjoying the field of view. The colors are great, shooting in 4K. It is bouncy, but it's not nearly as bouncy as it was with the DJI Osmo Pocket. I still can't believe that that's a gimbal and it's that noticeable compared to the GoPro. If you were to ask me which footage looks more natural, I would have to say that the GoPro at this point looks much better. And I actually kind of enjoy the fact that you can see my hands as I'm running, because it does give you that FPV type view that a lot of people really enjoy when it comes to action cameras. So I'm going to sit back, we're going to review some of the footage, and then we'll wrap it up at the end. Okay, so we just got done watching both clips, the DJI Osmo Pocket 1 and the GoPro Hero 7 Black, while I made my way back down from the mountain this morning. And let's analyze what we saw. The first thing that's going to come straight out is that the DJI Osmo Pocket is very bouncy. For a gimbal, that was very shocking, and to me, it's quite unacceptable. Now, the image was crisp. I did like the image, and I'm also going to put on the screen real quick a picture that I took while I was up at the top with the DJI Osmo Pocket to try and give it a little bit, to redeem it a little bit. But I was very surprised. And at the end of the day, this is what I'll say about the DJI Osmo. The image is well, I want to say exactly, it's very similar to the GoPro. So when you look at just the images, there's really not a lot of disparity between the two, but what you're going to find is the determining factor is ease of use. The GoPro is so easy to just pull out of your bag, clip it, press go, and because of the wide field of view and because of the industry-leading stabilization, you're not going to have any problems. You clip on the DJI Osmo Pocket and it becomes a little bit more involved because you don't know where that gimbal is pointing, where it's going to be pointing as you're doing your activity. The settings, you have to pair it with but connect it to a phone to get all of the settings or access to all those settings. So in my opinion, that just becomes in the realm of action cameras, that really that's a no-go. So I would not use the DJI Osmo Pocket as an action camera alternative. Now, if you're going to do cinematic videography, now this is going to be great because you can get those sweeping shots. It does have a better focal length than the GoPro. So in that respect, you're going to get more cinema type quality. And it does have the Decine-alike, which is a very nice profile. It mutes everything down so that you can enhance those colors to your liking in post. So for a cinematic camera, much better. I do prefer it for talking head videos like this here in the office. The only thing you got to make sure you do is lock that gimbal, because as soon as you start moving around, that gimbal is going to move with you and it becomes very, I don't want to say disorienting, but unnerving as the person watching the camera go back and forth. I expect my camera to be stationary, so if I go side to side, it stays there and only I move. So at the end of all this, my I don't want to say prediction, but my assessment, GoPro Hero 7 Black wins when it comes to action camera stabilization and ease of use, but the DJI Osmo Pocket is a great cinema gimbal handheld camera. All right, this is Mike, Low Def Media. Thanks so much for taking the time. Hit that like button on your way out, little thumbs up, and we look forward to seeing you in the next one.